I'm the big man, attorney Joey Franks, and I want to talk to you today about how a portable breath test works. Seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Not exactly, but we're going to play around with it. But first, got to have a beer to get this started, and you will see why in a second. Simple Miller Lite. Probably not going to win a chugging competition. Seems straightforward. You just blow in this as hard as you can and it will give a reading. Not exactly how that works, and this sometimes is where folks end up getting refusal because the big intoxilizer works in a similar way. It's ready. Here we go. Big breath. See? I didn't blow long enough for it. So we're going to redo it. And what you're looking for is a slow, continuous breath. All I'm trying to do is maintain the tone. That's it. As long as you can hear the tone, and you'll hear a click when it's ready. Here we go. We're going to try this again. You heard the click? There you go. This is just a cheap Amazon $120, $125 item. I'll see about putting a link in there, but there's nothing fancy to it. And you saw that beer that I just chugged. Well, it says that I'm blowing 0.013 right now, and it's probably some residual alcohol showing up on there. For it to be that quick, that high, it would normally take a little bit while for it to work its way through my system. Which brings us to another reason that we tell folks not to take the portable breath test, is the residual alcohol that's on your breath a lot of times. If you look at our intoxilizer statutes, you're supposed to wait 15 minutes by statute before you provide a breath sample. Our Mississippi Department of Public Safety, their standard operating procedures say that you actually should wait 20 minutes or be observed for 20 minutes before an officer gives you the test. So what happens a lot of times, and this is where the residual alcohol and the high number tags them, is somebody will go pay their tab, get one last beer, and they down it, they walk out the door, hop in their car, go a quarter mile down the road, and they get blue lighted. They pull over, they blow in the PBT, it's this really high number, and it looks really bad. Now, in Mississippi, the actual number that you blow shouldn't come in a court of law, not in a portable breath test. The intoxilizer is a different thing. There's some criteria that's got to be met. They have to show that the person operating it's qualified to operate it. They have to show that the machine is properly calibrated, and they have to show that the proper procedures were followed. PBT doesn't have any of that. That's part of the reason that the number doesn't actually come in a court of law, is it doesn't go through the rigorous calibration. It doesn't meet the standards that the intoxilizer 8000 would use. The 8000 is what we use in Mississippi. Other states will vary. I know Tennessee was using the intoxilizer 5000, for example. So at Big Man Law, we tell folks, heck no, don't blow. This means you don't do the portable breath test. You don't do the intoxilizer. It means you don't do field sobriety test. We don't want to do anything. Now, what happens the second you take that portable breath test and you come back with any kind of positive reading for alcohol is the first thing you've just done is give the officer probable cause to continue the investigation on your case. We don't want that happening. We want to head it off at the pass. Second thing, they've started setting up the box for your DUI at that point in time, because they're going to look at that number that you blew and think, even if it is residual alcohol, then I'm still going to take them down to the station and see what they blow. I'm going to ask them some more questions. I'm going to go through all the stuff that I normally do with a normal DUI person. Even if you so much as blow a .01, they have the right to do that. Do all of them do it? No. Some of them say that's not enough. If they're blowing a .01, it's not going to be worth my time. By the time I get them to the station, I do my 20-minute observation. That .01 is probably going to be gone by itself. So what they're looking for is people that are .06, .07, .08, and higher, because the alcohol will slowly metabolize out of your system. And they are looking for people, really, they prefer them to see them on the upswing, because they know if you just had that last beer and you blew a .06 when he first stopped you, they've been on the side of the road now for 15, 20, 25 minutes. They give you another PBT sample and you come up to a .08. Well, by the time they get you to the intoxilizer, you're probably going to be peaking, because again, you got to remember it's the way impairment works as far as how it processes through your system. So that is kind of how a portable breath test works, all in a nutshell. The intoxilizer works on many of the same principles, but it is calibrated to standards that satisfy the Department of Public Safety and Mississippi Forensic Laboratory requirements, as opposed to a portable breath test, which really doesn't have any calibration requirements in the state of Mississippi. That's why the number doesn't actually come in at trial. The number we're talking about is what you read out as. So we're going to give it one more try and see what we blow. Here we go. This is a cool little machine, but you got to wait a few seconds before you can actually blow into it. And you take your breath at the very end, it'll beep when it's ready, and there we go. I'll give it a blow. What does it say I'm at? All right, I am good to go. Legitimate zeros across the board.